Good morning, beautiful friends. It's great to be here with you and great to have you with me. Noodling this morning. Get that out of the way. You can tell I haven't done much of it for a minute. A little rusty. That's all right. Not as bad as the 5 years that I took off, I guess. Not Chiquita, hey? Great to see you, my friend. It's been a minute. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Kevlar. Good to see you as well. Ronald Lee, my friend. It's great to see you. I think there's something at the post office. You're a nutty friend. I love you. Andrew, thanks so much for that email this morning. Really, it was just perfectly timed. Made my day. Thanks so much for those of you who do send emails and messages. Some of them are particularly well timed, as was Andrew's this morning. So thank you for that. It really offers me encouragement and helps keep me going. Lungs, hey, how are you? Young love. And I can't see you well this morning. For some reason, my this particular monitor got so small, my poor eyes can't see it. Oh, I went the wrong way. Don't want to do that. Made it even smaller. Oh, hey, look at that. I can see now. Marika, how are you? David Rife, hey, good to see you as well. Loving the light. Hey, friends, good to see you, Stephanie. It is, let's see, what do we got here? If you were here yesterday for the program, then you kind of know what's going on in terms of the channel situation. If not, just the briefest of rundowns. So, I took a channel strike from our friends at YouTube over the last week, and so I was gone for a week due to, well, just, silly stuff. I played a video, probably ill-advised, but all the bad words had been taken out, and it was just images, and we even said we don't know for sure what's going on here, but it's interesting. That got us a strike. So, as many people are doing, and as you probably know, many people have done backup channels, that sort of stuff, as well as looking at different platforms. And so I have done the same, and we're looking at a variety of different things. So I got hooked up this week with Rockfen. I know Jason Lindgren and some others have moved over to that platform, and so as have I. I've got set up with them, and so were it not for, well, I would have gone there yesterday, but there's going to be some things going on. Now, Rockfan is, of course, a subscription service. It'll cost you $10 a month, but that's not $10 per content provider. That's for everything on there, and so we're trying to get a variety of people in our community over there, and even I've talked to them about doing a community channel, and so I think we're going to move forward with that as well. But in the interim, we do have Jason Lindgren. I think Jaron is over there. Rose has got a channel there. Try to get Karen B. and our friend Brian Stavely set up. So we're trying to get some stuff there, but also diversifying. I spent some time this week setting up a whole bunch of different channels and figuring out ways to hit them all at the same time. So coming up very soon as we close in the end of this month, starting next month, you'll see me appear in a variety of places. Not sure if I will continue to do this this broadcasting thing, but I want to test out the different platforms. Certainly we see the handwriting on the wall when it comes to our friends on this platform. Not need to say anything more, but I will say, well, screw it. You guys at YouTube, we're not afraid of you. You can't keep the truth hidden. Three things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And if you actually did have anything going for you, you'd already know this stuff. So there it is. So we're not afraid of you, but we're not going to be bullied by you either. We're simply going to, adapt, improvise, overcome. So in the coming weeks, you'll see me appear in a variety of platforms, probably mostly multi-streamed, and we'll try to keep this here as well for as long as we can. It is, as you know, one of the purposes or one of the benefits of this particular platform is that it has a lot of traffic. YouTube does, and so if we want to reach new people, this is probably the place to get them. We'll just have to kind of, I guess, reel them in. And so I don't plan to censor myself, certainly. Nope, truth doesn't bring the viewers. It's not good. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%. Nachiketa. Truth is not good for the industry. However, it's good for people. And so we'll see what happens. So currently, my thought is to continue certainly the Sunday morning stream, Ancient Wisdom, will continue to be on YouTube until they just tell me to go away. Shouldn't give them any reason to do anything reactionary. If they are reactionary to this content, clearly there are other issues at hand. We know that those issues are in play already, but they're loath to admit it. So until they're willing to admit it, we'll continue to do this stream. We'll see about the Sunday evening stream. I may want to include some content there that might be somewhat controversial, and so that may move to one of the alternate platforms. And then the unintended consequences probably will be promotions done on this channel, and then the actual content appear elsewhere, or a partial cast, as many people do. They start the stream on several things and then land on one channel. The point in going to some place like Rockfin is not to take your money. I have never really asked you for your money other than to help other people out, and we continue to do that as best we can. David Reif is in chat, and we trying to take care of him as well, and we've got other people that are in need as well. So anytime that you feel like you want to, of course, you can always just send it to me, and it'll be safe. Right? If you tell me it's for paying it forward, I'll hold on to it until we have a need. I promise. I'm not going to dig my hands into it. I don't need the money that badly. We're not flush, but we do all right. That even sounds like, oh yeah, we're doing fine. No, we're in the bucket like everybody else, just barely trying to make it. But Dad takes care of us, and so I don't have to reach into anybody else's pocket to make it work. That's what I'm saying. So if you feel like you want to help people out, but you don't know of a situation that's current, you can always just send it paying it forward to my PayPal, and I'll just put it into I got a side pocket over there, and I've been putting together some cash to just in case people need something. I can be available with that, and I just ask for people to donate to them, and it just kind of goes back in. And so, yes, I know, David, it turned out to be right on time, and I love that. And that just shows to me that it's Dad working, right? In other words, I mean, with David Reif, like I literally sent him money because I felt nudged to, like 2 hours before he got injured and couldn't work. So that's I meach, again, we don't want him to get injured, certainly, but how would we know? So yes, an investment portfolio for the community. Here's the thing, with crypto, again, to each his own, and certainly there's an opportunity there for people to make money, but over the last couple of weeks, with the volatility in all across the crypto, I would certainly feel bad if I talked people into buying crypto and then they lost money in it. I mean, I know that's the nature of a market and financial, instruments. I know that all of them have that kind of volatility, and so when a person makes an investment, that's the risk they take. But I would have felt bad if I were encouraging people to get into it, and. To me, I agree that from my perspective, crypto is sketchy in that it relies on the beast system. Okay, does regular cash? Yes. Yes, and I mean, we're just render unto Caesar's that which is Caesar's, and render unto God with that which is God's. I just see no reason to get into bed more deeply with Caesar. That's all. Yep, I agree, Nachi. You got to buy when it's low, right? This is to be the time to buy. If you were wanting to get into crypto, right, at this point, you get into it when it's low. But that's how you play the market. I'm just not one to play like that. Again, my experience is that the Dad takes care of those who trust him and love him and take care of others, and he's got it covered. I don't need to trust in men. So. There you go. Anyway, without getting too deeply into that, I'm just saying I would feel bad if I had advocated for something that took people's money away. All right. I guess I would just add this at the same time because that made me think, right, about the communal living situation, and of course trying to make a way for people not only to get in but to get out if they decide it's not for them, right? Don't want them to lose their investment, that sort of stuff. So it just kind of made me think of that, and just to give you a hint that we'll be talking more about the communal living situation as days go by. Right now I am, of course, deeply into trying to make this move happen, and all the stuff going on in the medical things that are happening I'm trying to get a handle on over the coming weeks. Tomorrow, I begin the first of this odyssey, just doing all the paperwork, and then some dental stuff on Thursday, and we just move from there. So it's going to be interesting, but just can't take on too much at once. So I'm trying to maintain these channels and the communication as we prepare to do this move. We're packing already, trying to get a lot of stuff done. So anyway, Michelle Waldo, how are you? Great to see you here. So let's dig in to Proverbs. Today is the 23rd, so we'll dig into Proverbs 23. I'll do two versions this morning from the Good News as well as the New International versions of the Bible. So give me a moment, and I will prepare for that. Talk amongst yourselves as we get ready for that. And I would just ask, Dad, if you want to be with us today as we dig into your word and just explore the ancient wisdom that you provided for us and left in your word. Thanks for all the folks that you've brought here today, and encourage them and nudge them to come hang out together. And thanks for being with my friends and my family. All right. Proverbs 23. When you sit down to dine with a ruler, note well what is before you. Put a knife to your throat if you're given to gluttony. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Do not wear yourself out trying to get rich. Don't trust your own cleverness. Cast but a glance at riches, because they're soon gone. They will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. Kind of couldn't be more salient, huh? Do not eat the food of a begrudging host. Do not crave his delicacies, for he's the kind of person who's always thinking about the cost. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the little you've eaten, and you will have wasted your compliments. Do not speak to fools, for they will scorn your prudent words. Do not move an ancient boundary stone or encroach on the fields of the fatherless, for their defender is strong, and he will take up the case against you. Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish them with a rod, they will not die. Punish them with a rod, and you will save them from death. My son, if your heart is wise, then my heart will be glad indeed. My inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. Do not let your heart envy sinners. Be always zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Listen, my son, and be wise, and let your heart be set on the right path. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. Listen to your father, who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy the truth and do not sell it. Wisdom, instruction, and insight as well. The father of a righteous child has great joy, and a man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him. May your father and mother rejoice, and may she who gave you birth be joyful. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes delight in my ways. For an adulterous woman is a deep pit, and a wayward wife is a narrow well. Like a bandit, she lies in wait and multiplies the unfaithful among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaints? Who has needless bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? Those who linger over wine, who go to sample bowls full of mixed wine. Do not gaze at wine when it's red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a snake and poisons like a viper. Your eyes will see strange sights, and your mind will imagine confusing things. You'll be like one sleeping on the high seas, lying on top of the rigging. They hit me, you'll say, but I'm not hurt. They beat me, but I don't feel it. When will I wake up so I can find another drink? It's Proverbs 23 from the New International Version. From the Good News Bible. When you sit down to eat with someone important, keep in mind who he is. If you have a big appetite, restrain yourself. Don't be greedy for the fine food he serves. He might be trying to trick you. That's also very salient, again, with news reports or information that you get that might seem to support your position. Always keep in mind what I call the truth trap, right? Which is they're trying to trick you with something that would seem to agree with your position, and then they could expose it as being false. This is the actual Bible? Yes, this is the actual Bible. Right now, Rose, I'm reading Proverbs 23 from the Good News translation, which is a more modern translation. In fact, if you like, I'll even finish with the Message, which is the most modern of them. Pretty interesting. All right, moving on to verse 4 from the Good News Bible. This is Proverbs 23. Be wise enough not to wear yourself out trying to get rich. Your money can be gone in a flash, as if it had grown wings and flown away like an eagle. Don't eat at the table of a stingy person, or be greedy for the fine food he serves. Come on and have some more, he says, but he doesn't mean it. What he thinks is what he really is. You'll end up vomiting up what you've eaten, and all your flattery will have been wasted. Don't try to talk sense to a fool. He can't appreciate it. Never move an old boundary mark or take over land owned by orphans. The Lord is their powerful defender, and he will argue their case against you. Pay attention to your teacher and learn all you can. Don't hesitate to discipline children. A good spanking won't kill them, but as a matter of fact, it might even save their lives. Son, if you become wise, I will be very happy. I will be proud when I hear you speaking words of wisdom. And don't be envious of sinful people. Let reverence for the Lord be the concern of your life. If it is, you'll have a bright future. Listen, my child, be wise and give serious thought to the way you live. Don't associate with people who drink too much wine or stuff themselves with food. Drunkards and gluttons will be reduced to poverty. If all you do is eat and sleep, you will soon be wearing rags. Listen to your father. Without him, you would not exist. When your mother is old, show her your appreciation. Truth, wisdom, learning, and good sense, these are worth paying for, but far too valuable for you to sell. A righteous man's father has good reason to be happy. You can take pride in a wise son. Make your father and mother proud of you. Give your mother that kind of happiness. Pay close attention, my son, and let my life be your example. Prostitutes and immoral women, they're a deadly trap. They wait for you like robbers and cause many men to be unfaithful. Show me someone who drinks too much, who has to try out some new drink, and I'll show you someone who's miserable and always feels sorry for himself, always causing trouble, and always complaining. His eyes are bloodshot, and he has bruises that could have been avoided. Don't let wine tempt you, even though it is a rich red and it sparkles in the cup and goes down smoothly. The next morning, you'll feel as if you've been bitten by a poisonous snake. Weird sights will appear before your eyes, and you'll not be able to think or speak clearly. You'll feel as if you were out in the ocean, seasick, swinging high up in the rigging of a tossing ship. I must have been hit, you say. I must have been beaten up, but I don't remember it. Why can't I wake up? I just need another drink. And that is the Good News Bible. I'll give you one more version so you can compare. Wow, I could even probably do 2 of them. Let's do the Message real quick. And again, this is the most modern. It is what we would call a paraphrase version. It is often spectacular in its ability to get to the heart of what I think the author was saying in some cases. In other cases, it strays so far from the original. I don't even know where he was going with it. But in any case, there is some good stuff here. We'll do some from the Message, and then I'll switch over to another one which I find very interesting and give you a taste of these different versions. Again, this is Proverbs 23, and this is the Message. When you go out to dinner with an influential person, mind your manners. Don't gobble your food, don't talk with your mouth full, and don't stuff yourself. Bridle your appetite. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Restrain yourself. Riches disappear in the blink of an eye. Wealth sprouts wings and flies off into the wild blue yonder. Don't accept a meal from a tightwad. Don't expect anything special. He'll be as stingy with you as he is with himself. He'll say eat and drink, but he doesn't mean a word of it. His miserly serving will turn your stomach when you realize the meal is a sham. Don't bother talking sense to fools. They'll only poke fun at your words. Don't stealthily move back the boundary lines or cheat orphans out of their property, for they have a powerful advocate who will go to bat for them. Give yourselves to disciplined instruction. Open your ears to tested knowledge. Don't be afraid to correct your young ones. A spanking won't kill them. A good spanking, in fact, might save them from something even worse than death. So again, that's the Message. And then I'm going to show you one more. And it's a very interesting one. It is only available for, I guess I can't do this in the Psalms. Never mind. There's one that is the Psalms, Psalm of David in meter. It's a 1650 Scottish translation, and it's really interesting because they do it in meter, like iambic pentameter. So that's an interesting one. All of these, by the way, can be found just by going to Bible.com. There is an app that's free on both Android and iOS called YouVersion, 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 by these same folks at Bible.com. And there are 80-some English translations and 500 plus translations into multiple languages. Some of them have recordings, audio recordings, and you can listen. And both Ceiling Fan Man and I take advantage of that frequently. Turn it on and listen to it in the background. So that's helpful. And not just, again, the Psalms, but some of them on the entire Bible. So there you go. That's today's reading of the Psalms. And again, if you didn't catch it yesterday, just remind you that we are diversifying, going to multiple channels as a means to kind of spread ourselves and keep from getting taken down in one swell foop, as it were. As part of that, we will be guaranteed that you will be seeing this evening's program, sort of scriptural, will be on Rockfin tonight. It may be on multiple platforms, but it certainly will probably be on Rockfin. I'm going to try that platform out. And then I have opened up accounts and have done a few little tests across the board into a variety of things, Odyssey, Twitch. There was a whole list of them. And so I tried to set them up yesterday, got everything sort of going. So we got Rockfin, Twitch, what's the other one? So Restream is part of a way to address that. Odyssey, BitChute, Daily Motion, Twitch. There's a whole bunch of them that I put in. So we'll be broadcasting to a whole variety of platforms, trying to see where that goes. Ultimately, I think we'll find a home on Rockfin, I hope. Been talking to them pretty regularly now this last week. The primary development guy, as well as their vice president of marketing. So hopefully we'll get a platform there that serves our community well, and that's our intention. And so I hope you guys have a terrific day. and a great weekend. I'll be plan to be back this evening at 5 p.m. If you are on social media, you'll probably see a post there. If you are not, I'll try to post something to YouTube, just a quick post to let you know where that will be. It may be here as well. I may multi-stream to a variety of places, but I think I want to try to do a test. I had intended to do it yesterday morning, just there was some timing issues. Got it all set up, and there are some timing issues to make it all work. So you have to have it done, everything done an hour in advance, and yeah, there's some technical stuff on this end. So it'll take me a couple of weeks to, I think, work everything out to make it good and pleasurable for everybody, I guess. But that's what we want, is just to have a nice place everybody can meet, uncensored. And so I think, we're going to diversify and give YouTube the opportunity to see what they're going to do. I'll continue, again, doing some of the more spiritual themed streams like this one on YouTube. And again, if they attack that, well, it'll be interesting. It'll just certainly reveal themselves for who they are. And then anything with more controversial topics will probably move to some of these other platforms. We're going to see what happens with Poppycock, because that is going to clearly that's content that's would open itself up for some stuff. So we'll probably see what happens there. Maybe again, perhaps a not premium Rockfin channel. I don't know. I'll talk to Rose about it. Rose, I saw you earlier. If you're still here, we'll chat about it, see how we want to address it. I do want to reach a number of people. Well, again, it seems like it's going to be time just to pay attention to what's happening and to address these things. Before we go, how about this? I'll leave you with a little tuning stuff. This is from the Solfeggio. This is from the Solfeggio set, and we'll give you a little tuning here, and then I'll play a little music on the way out, and hope you have a lovely week. Let's see. And it keeps going and going and going. Little AMSR or whatever. You'll notice if I bring it in, it can make it really loud. It's a very sensitive microphone, of course, but it's still going. If I back it up, but it just keeps going and going and going and going. Yeah, Mark, they're not real expensive. I got to tell you, so the ones I got 2 complete sets. They're not that expensive, and it's remarkable, the effect. I mean, just after having done that, I already feel like kind of a cleansing. You almost get high from it. And I've got now 3 sets. I have the first set is a solfeggio set, the second set is a chakra set, the third set is a healing set, including the sonic slider. And then this week I'm getting the biomagnetic biofield stuff. So really going to dig into this, but already I felt now it's hard to describe exactly what you're experiencing. Best way I can describe it right now, my experience with it so far, is that it sort of puts you into sort of like almost a theta brainwave state, a very, very deep position of meditation. But you can feel the vibration. It's really remarkable, especially as you cycle through. And I've got to figure out, you want more? Okay, so I got to figure out how to cycle through these properly and use them together. And so there's opportunity to do that. I've been reading a little bit on some of that aspect and using them together. It's a little bit more difficult to do, but it is pretty remarkable. A link, I will, let me see if I can find that for you real quick. And So that's two of them from the solfeggio. I know, right? I was like, wow, it's like you get high. I really don't even know how to describe it. And this is, those two were the 174 and the 285 from the solfeggio. And it is remarkable. And the more I do it, and that's the notes that I read, is the more you do it, the more it works. And I just, again, I'm going to do some math. I'm going to try to figure out a few things and see. But the more that I consider what's going on in the world, and the more that Cammie and I talk, and we try to figure out what's happening. Clearly, there is something happening, right? We consider that it's frequency, vibration, resonance, that sort of thing. And so with basically the way that I see it, I reserve the right to be completely wrong. This is the God. This is, again, probably not the right stream for this, but I'll tell you, it's all the same stuff. All right. So that essentially matter, all physical matter that you're aware of, is essentially ether, which is the, luminiferous ether that is taken on a cohesive pattern such that it becomes a physical property. And then chemistry is a way to use interactive frequencies, constructive and destructive interference. Yes, it does feel like that, Kevlar. It is like almost like a runner's high, right? It's remarkable. And so each of the frequencies seem to do different things, and I've noted that in all the stuff that I was reading about it, that everybody says that it does seem to do different things, although it's, again, difficult to describe. But I do recommend it. Let me see if I can find. I hope these are the right ones. Let me go here. So I have to admit that I bought them on Amazon. Because it was just easy to do. Okay. Kind of busy. All right. I know I'm justifying bad stuff. I'm giving money to the bad people. I'm really sorry. But I'm happy with the outcome. All right. So this is one of them. This is the solfeggio set that I got. And it's about $140. It's a full set with the bag. So there's that. And the other one I got from Biofield Tuning. Here's this one. Actually, I really like this one. This all right, so this is a chakra set, 7-piece chakra plus 1 soul purpose. It's with the it's got this little hand mallet on there, and that's pretty helpful. But these guys are really quite nice, and these are the chakra ones. I found these to be really remarkable, and you don't have to put them where they are. Like, for example, the sacral chakra point, you don't have to put it there. It seems to work irrespective of where. But it's hard to describe what they do, but they do. They're doing something. You can really sense it. Yeah, again, I agree. I'm not a big fan of, but I will say this, that most of the items that I get come directly from sellers. They're using Amazon as a portal, so it's a little better. And the third one was from Biofield. Biofield Tuning. And I got her sonic slider here with the circuit boot thing here, which is it's got dimples in it, and supposed to basically create a field in between the item and your body, where it kind of gets trapped and goes back and forth. And so there's that. So you can get those directly from Biofield Tuning Store. And there's that. I'll drop that in the chat as well. So there you go. Anyway, so there's that, and then I'm going to get, don't have them yet, got some information from Karen B on the biofield magnetic stuff. So be digging into that is the next thing. But I want to put them all together along with some of the work that I previously used to do in terms of healing touch. I have an expectation, I think, not just a suspicion, but at this point kind of an expectation that it will be much improved simply by the path of intention. And then including some of these other items, as well as using some of the stuff that I've discovered with water and placing some intention there, might be able to see some remarkable results. So I'm going to be soon enough asking for some guinea pigs and say, hey, would you be comfortable with? And we'll try it out. Because I think not only is there something to it, but it seems at this point like that's where it's at. It does seem, from my perspective, that this world is entirely made up of frequencies that were spoken into existence by our Creator. Probably sung into existence is the way I see it. But, again, anyway, hey, Michelle, great to see you here. Thanks so much for coming in. And yeah, absolutely. Again, it might not be for everybody. They're about $100 a piece per set. So it is an investment if you want to get all into it. But it is certainly, something you could share with your friends or that sort of thing. And I will say this, one of the things about it that you can do distance stuff because the sound certainly is creating that vibration. It does seem to, again, the physical vibrations do seem to help to some degree. But if you have speakers on the other end, keep in mind those speakers are, to some, as faithfully as they can, reproducing the vibration. So there is something to it, but I do find that the physically proximity to the physical vibration does seem to make a difference. Some, right? It's not that it's completely worthless without it, but it is far better. Chinese knockoff for half off, yeah, right? I think these are probably our Chinese knockoffs, but they're pretty well. I was a little concerned about the Solfeggio stuff because they seem very light. At first I was concerned that they were flimsy, but they do ring pretty well, and they do have a pretty good sustain for them for a while, which is as well as can be expected. They're not really premium ones because I have before spent more than $100 on a single tuning fork for concert tuning. So there's that. Again, be careful with them. You don't want to drop them, that sort of stuff, because it can ever so slightly adjust the frequencies. And in fact, some of the healing stuff is they're tuned to the hundredth of a fraction. So, for example, the sacral one here that I played earlier, 210.42 is the frequency. So that's, again, fairly specific in its tuning. However, again, they seem to do remarkable things. And now the other thing about it is, believe it or not, RTFM, read the freaking manual, is that it does say it improves, the effect improves and increases the more you do it. I have found that already to be true just in the last week, that the more you continue to use it, your body does seem to become more attuned to it. And how does it work? Again, we can only sort of guess at it, sort of like acupuncture. Here's my thoughts on it. Just basically, again, is that because of entrainment, for example, if I were to I'm sure you know what entrainment is, but let's see, entrainment. I'll just try to find a quick video here to show you what happens. So here, turn this off and go over here so you can see it. So basically this idea is that things take on, they become attuned to one another. And so here you see these metronomes started at different times. They're all set to different levels here. They're also on a moving platform. Watch what happens. They'll become synchronized with one another. And this has been known for a very long time with grandfather clocks and pendulums. You put them in a room, if they're in a proximity with one another or connected in some way. Have I tested them with a music tuner to check if they're accurate? I haven't yet. Frankly, Jennifer, it's kind of funny because some of the tuners that I have access to, I would be more skeptical of the tuner's ability to properly do it than than the thing. But you know what? I probably could real quickly just test one of them. I do have an app on my iPad for that purpose. So give me just a moment here. And I'll see if I can do that. Let's see. I go audio tools, and I have that spectral eye. That's a tune. Want to do this, and there's that. And spot on. It doesn't like the overtones, but. It's straight up within 5%. That's pretty good. All right. So there we go with that. Anyway, so entrainment. So idea being there that we become attuned to the things around us, right? So we say, for example, by beholding, you become changed. When you get put into an environment, you begin to take on the aspects of that environment and begin to manifest those things, whether you want to or not. It's just the way it is. You begin to become attuned to that environment, acclimated, if you will. And so when this is the way that I see it, this is the perception I have right now. I reserve every right to be completely wrong. And that is that part of the reason, going back to this work on the Awakening Project, part of the reason that some people wake up and some people don't has to do with this, has to do with your frequency, if you will, if you want to get all woo. But whatever frequency you're attuned to, you would be able to then, you don't resonate with the lies. Right? You resonate only with truth. And so lies become cacophony to you. It becomes dissonant, right? And similarly, those who are entrained with the lies, when you tell them the truth, you become their enemy because it's dissonant to them. It has a ring to it, and it doesn't vibrate with them. But it also has a ring of truth. Ever heard that expression? The ring of truth. And it does. And it indicates that they are vibrating incorrectly. And I think that this is very specific to the whole thing about when Jesus said, my sheep will know my voice, right? That we will know that we're in the right frequency. We respond. If you take a guitar, right, which has a body, it's got that what we call an F hole, but it's that body shaped in a way because the body resonates the strings and it amplifies it, makes it louder. And the strings are tuned, they're under tension, they're tuned to different frequencies. If you take a tuning fork, right, or anything that vibrates at a specific state frequency and put it like this, well, we do it all the time to tune a guitar, for example. You ring the tuning fork and you set the bottom of the tuning fork on the body of the guitar, of an acoustic guitar. The whole body will get really loud because the body will amplify that sound. But what will happen is that the strings which are in relation to that, if they're in a frequency, tuned to a frequency that's in relation to the pitch of the tuning fork, they will begin to vibrate on their own because it's harmonic. It's doing this entrainment thing. They're beginning to vibrate in sympathy with it. And so this is what happens to you when you hear something that is truth. You begin to vibrate simpatico with that, and you begin to take on those attributes. Similarly, of course, if you surround yourself with darkness and evil, you begin to take on those attributes as well. But when you have these frequencies and are tuned appropriately, your body begins then, I think, to take on these appropriate frequencies which are tuned to nature. And I think this is part of the danger of why they did the A440 concert tuning, right, versus 432. I'm sure if you're not familiar with this concept, go just do a quick look, some search into 432 versus 440, and you'll see what I'm talking about. That in the 1950s, they came together with a standards group in Europe to make 440 the concert pitch instead of 432. And 432 is a natural, it's a natural frequency. 440 isn't. In fact, if I just quickly bring this up here, 440 versus 432 cymatics, and cymatics is basically when you take a sound and you introduce it into a medium. let's see here. I want to do this and whoops, that, and then here, and then this, so you can see a picture of that there. And so you can see 430 versus 432 here. All right, so on the left you have 432 hertz. So cymatics is basically introduced sound into a media, and it begins to take on this organizational pattern. And this is 432 hertz, which you can see takes on this beautiful mandala-looking thing. To the right, 440 hertz, as you can see, is broken apart and looks incohesive. And that's the difference, right? Is that one is tuned to nature and one is not. And it's been shown over and over again, and again, this is just a study you can go into, that these frequencies cause dissonance and incohesiveness, cacophony around them, including to organic, physical, living beings. So we know that, and these things are proven, and that 432 is better for organic bodies. And so, just with that basic bit of information, again, these things combine, and we are using again. Go back and look at what Cami shows with light using polarized filters. You can see the effects that wave interference patterns. All right, so wave interference patterns here. You can certainly see what happens there as the wave interference happens. They begin to cancel each other out or amplify one another in nodes, depending on their relationship to one another. And so this is what happens, I think, to you, and this is why these tuning forks have an effect. I was going to say work, but this is the effect that they're having, is to bring you back into a more natural state, that your body will begin to, all the cells in your body will begin to align themselves and vibrate at a frequency more consistent with these natural tones rather than with the cacophonous tones. And I would think that this would be similar to the nature of, again, water memory and how water takes on the memory of those things around it. Anyway, again, it's just way too way off the shelf there into the deep stuff. But that's what I think is happening at a very basic level. And so I think it is, it's more than just woo. There certainly is a woo to it, I suppose, but it is, it's sciencey. Anyway, that's the whole thing with tuning forks, and that's what I'm getting into, both tuning forks and, so that's sound waves, but also magnetism and electricity, the right-hand rule. They are cousins, if you will. They're interactive. And so we are definitely electromagnetic beings, and so that has an effect on us as well, certainly. So this is what you'll see me getting more and more into, I'm afraid, as I make the move to the southeast and get together with Cami and Zach and explore and just blow our little minds with the sciencey stuff. Science, lab. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, coming to the end of today's program, and I will be back this evening. I will make some sort of announcement so that you know where I'll be in the evening. Now that it's kind of late, probably back here as well, but I'm going to probably try to multi-stream to a couple other places and get that started as well. And so we'll put something together for this evening. That'll be 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. There you go. So I will, let's see, I'll end up with, how about this? We'll do too much. This is 1996, something like that. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for being here. So much love for you guys. It's always such a pleasure to hang out with you, and I really, really do appreciate the time that we get to spend together. Be good to those around you. Be good to yourself. Be still. Just be. Invisible streets will meet your side, marking your pathway where solace resides. But solace is tempered with a burden of proof. If hearts are sincere and let's speak the truth, your innocence is an endearing quality, but also serves as a warning to me. Never take more than you give. Never break what you cannot replace. Things easily shattered, best left untouched. So God help me learn not to love easily satisfied. It's the hunger of the soul this time. Never take more than you give. Never break what you cannot replace. Things easily shattered, a past left